Hi, I'm Kieran Don, and welcome to the Kieran Don channel on YouTube. So I've done a few videos before on rugby union and the downfall and where I could think they could do better and how I don't really think Super Rugby is doing any good for Australian rugby union. So this video is about the Shute Shield, which is the New South Wales competition of rugby union. And in my opinion, the best rugby union in Australia. It's the most exciting, the most free flowing. But something disturbing I've heard through the grapevine. So there is talks that the rugby union is thinking of getting rid of the two Western Sydney teams, the Penrith Emus and the Western Sydney, or what I like to call them by the original name, Parramatta Two Blues, which would make no sense. Western Sydney is the heartland of sport in New South Wales, in Sydney anyway, especially Penrith. And if your sport's not going well there, it's kind of like on you rather than on those regions. And rugby union keeps trying to distance themselves from this like rich person sport, and only rich people follow it, and they kind of like, oh no, everyone can enjoy this sport. But by getting rid of the two Western Sydney teams, you're pretty much just having all the North Shores and Eastern Suburb teams left, so you're pretty much just shooting yourself in the foot. You're pretty much saying, yeah, only people in these suburbs watch us. Yeah. There also was talk of maybe not getting rid of them, but merging the two teams together, which is probably why Parramatta Two Blues changed their names to Western Sydney Two Blues. That way they get to keep the name, like Penrith Emus will have to merge with them and they become the Western Sydney team, which is already what they're called, so therefore they kind of win. And I don't think that's going to work either. One, the two teams don't like each other. Penrith always accuses of Parramatta of stealing their players, which might be true. And not very many mergers work. I mean, I guess the West Tigers kind of work in NRL, and St. George Illawarra kind of work as well. Both teams have won grand finals. The Western Bulldogs in AFL wasn't really a merger. It was more of a rebranding. But then you had some like terrible mergers like the Northern Eagles, where Manly and the North Sydney Bears in the NRL merged together and formed the Northern Eagles. Manly kind of stripped North Sydney of all their assets, then spat them out and went back to being called Manly, And both teams are struggling, both like for crowds, wins. I think Penrith had their first win in like years, and it was against Parramatta or Western Sydney Two Blues. Yeah, both teams are struggling. So when you get like a pile of shit and a pile of shit and you merge them together, you don't get a diamond, you just get a bigger pile of shit. Now, that was just like an example, a metaphor. I'm not calling both clubs pieces of shit because I think I'm a Penrith Emu fan. I watch games. And I think both teams are going extremely well under the circumstances. I mean, they're not really getting any help or resources from rugby union, when players who aren't playing for the Waratahs have to play, like get put down in low grades, they get put into like Sydney Uni or one of the glamour clubs. The talent should be spread around. Parramatta and Penrith should get some. Former Wallabies who are about to retire, or even good rugby union players, Super Rugby players, who are on the verge of retiring, should be put into those two teams, and rugby union pay their salary. They could even get like former rugby league players who's like about to retire, put them in the system as well. I mean, I guess you could argue that the downfall of rugby union kind of started when they started signing all these rugby league players like Saylor and Rogers. And but anyway, yeah, they could have done that. I mean, I think the Waratahs are doing an okay job. The only New South Wales Super Rugby team. I mean, they play in Manly, they play in Newcastle, they play in Parramatta. So yeah, like Super Rugby, I think is trying, but the Shute Shield could do better trying to promote themselves in Western Sydney. And if you were going to merge the two teams, the thing is, Penrith and Parramatta aren't as close as people think. They are both in Western Sydney, but they're more than half an hour apart. People from the North Shore and Eastern Suburb probably don't realise that because they never come out west. They just look at the map and they're kind of close together. And both stadiums aren't really near the CBD. Yeah, Parramatta is like in Granville and it's a random park, and Penrith's in the suburb stadium. The Nepean Rugby Park is in the suburbs. To be fair, I kind of like the Emu's home ground. It's cool. You can look at the bush in the background. It has this cozy feel. Plenty of parking. But if you were to merge the two teams, I reckon the team should be set up and based in Blacktown, which is a big city in the middle of both Penrith and Parramatta. Um, Blacktown's a big city. They like sport. They don't really have any sporting teams, really. The Thunder, the female cricket team play there in Blacktown sometimes, and so too does the GWS AFLW team. They play there, but no real men's sports. They got Manly's reserve grade for some reason, Blacktown Workers. But Blacktown Workers is a great stadium, you know. Put the Shute Shield team there, and just promote the hell out of it, you know. Promote the hell out of rugby union in Western Sydney. You know, the Wallabies play in Parramatta, but maybe bring a Wallabies game to Penrith and play in Penrith Stadium. I don't know if the Panthers will let them do it, but maybe if you pay the Panthers enough, get the Wallabies to play somewhere. It doesn't have to be the All Blacks. I mean, that would be awesome, but you know, maybe like France or something and have the tickets heaps cheap. You may make a loss of money, but you know, you're losing money anyway. I mean, I guess the Wallabies, the new football stadium in Moore Park will be like the big home of the Wallabies, which is fair enough. Because that's kind of near like the main fan base, you know, eastern suburbs and North Shore. Yeah. But you know, like if you're gonna charge not much for tickets and not really make a profit, that's okay because you know your sport's not really making a profit. I mean, you lost the Foxtel rights and you're on Stan Sport. I don't know anyone who has Stan Sport. I don't have it, and I'm a streaming service slut. You know, um, yeah, just try to rebuild your image and maybe get a better contract with Foxtel when your deal with Stan runs out. Anyway, that's my opinion. Thanks for watching. Please comment below. Please subscribe. Please press the like button. I don't know why that was so hard. But anyway, thanks for watching. Kieran Norton, out.